Guys and gals, you freaking car nerds, it is here at last. A real, honest to dog, production ready, fast AF, mid-engine American sports car. We have been dreaming and speculating and gossiping for literally decades about this thing. And I can't think of another car that's been hyped more than this besides the Supra, but the difference is this one didn't disappoint everybody. It blew everyone's freaking minds. Let's find out why this thing, this beautiful thing, is so special. We're going front to trunk, bumper to bumper on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Big boy thanks to this week's sponsor, Audible. Listen, I like to listen to audiobooks because I never have time to read, and the Audible app makes it super easy. I actually use this almost every day. You can choose up to 3 titles a month, 1 audiobook, and 2 Audible originals, and they have a ton of great titles to choose from in basically any genre. I can't wait to listen to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s autobiography, Racing to the Finish. Start listening with a 30-day Audible trial. Your first 2 audiobooks plus 2 Audible originals are free. Visit audible.com/bumper to bumper or text bumper to 500 and get started today. Support the companies that support Donut. We couldn't make our content without them. Now, back to the show. I'm as excited as you guys to dive into this car, but before we do that, we need to understand how this car happened. Mid-engine Corvette rumors and concept cars have been swirling around GM since the 1960s, thanks to engineer and avid racer Zora Arkus Duntop. The first gen vet started out as a total flop, but when Zora was promoted to head engineer of the Corvette program, everything changed. He started putting buffer small block V8s under the hood, but he always knew that the mid-engine layout offered better performance. It would push the Corvette into the ranks of exotic European sports cars. And even though Zora Arkus Duntov isn't here to see it, his hard work has paid off. And I think that if Zora were here today, he would be the proudest dad that you ever did see. I've never seen a proud dad. So the new Corvette is a slightly different shape than the Corvette has sort of always been. And a lot of people on the internet are boo-hooing about how the new look might ruin the character of the Vette. But those people have only seen pictures of it. And in person, it looks very Corvette. The angular body lines, the sharky nose, the quad taillights, all unmistakably Corvette. Only now it's unmistakably very well vented Corvette. There are vents in the front, there's vents on the sides, there's vents above the engine, there's vents across the back, all for the sake of cooling this beast's heart. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to that after you ring that little notification bell. And you guys clicking that is how we get to do stuff like this. And I don't wanna stop doing stuff like this. Putting the engine in the back means that you have all this other room up front for activities, like a lower hood line and a bigger windshield for better forward visibility. And yeah, now you get a frunk that can carry a suitcase or a couple duffel bags full of money. The critical part of this is that if you buy one, you get to say frunk all the time. Hey, oh, you wanna go work out? Yeah, let me go grab my gym bag from the frunk. Sir, do you have anything illegal in your frunk? Man, frunk the police. The door handles are very cleverly hidden under the black side trim, which keeps the design looking nice and clean, just like your boy. It feels like Chevy kept the black vent trim element from the C7's front quarter panel to retain some of that old character. The Corvette's hallmark removable roof panel is still removable, and it fits in the trunk. It locks in nice. And the trunk can still hold 2 golf bags. Now this is a very, very important selling point for Corvette buyers. Golf bags and Corvettes go together like goober grape peanut butter and jelly and bread. Now apparently the C8's body is 10% stiffer than the C7's for 2 big reasons. One is the huge, and I mean huge, center tunnel that acts like a super strong backbone. The other is 6 extra large, extra beefy, extra strong aluminum castings that make up the frame. That's gonna make the new Vette handle even better than the last one. And the last one handled very, very well. And now it's time to go back to the back of the car. The back of the car is probably the most identifiable Corvette part of the entire thing. The high set taillights, the black low trim, they're all a natural evolution of all the previous designs. But there are a lot of changes too. Like the vents that pass hot air out of the engine compartment. The quad tailpipes used to be in the center. I really like that. Now they've been squared up and split up, but don't worry you guys, there's still 4 tailpipes, they're just separated. Also, you can't see it, but the rear bumper beam is made out of carbon fiber. Now that's to help offset the weight of the engine being in the back now. I know, but I'm gonna say that one more time. The engine is in the back now! Well, it's in the front of the back. Okay, so like I got a tramp stamp when I was 12 years old, and then I hit a growth spurt, so now my tramp stamp is at the middle of my back. Max, can we see a picture of that? Which brings us to the exciting part, the engine. It's still a pushrod engine, but its shape allowed GM to mount it lower in the chassis for a better center of gravity. And it's no slouch. The Stingray's new 6.2 liter LT2 V8 makes 495 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque with the Z51 package, which is what this car has. That includes performance exhaust, along with improved engine cooling vents, better brakes, cooler aerodynamics, an electronic LSD, and stickier tires. Every single C8 is gonna have a dry sump oil system in this car that costs less than 60 grand. And that'll keep the engine from starving for lubrication even when it's pulling a G or more. I cannot wait to see what the aftermarket does with these things, man. People all over the world are gonna be souping these bad boys up. SEMA this year is gonna be sick. Corvette, 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 Corvette. Cool, dude. Whoa. This is sick. It feels like a cockpit. This is the nicest cockpit of any Corvette ever, 1000%. Goose! Take me home or lose me forever. Chevy had a few goals when designing the cockpit of the new C8. Goal number 1, perfecting driver focus, optimizing the F out of visibility. I think they did a good job. The steering wheel is a new square design because it's square and it's shaped so the driver can see the entire gauge cluster. And let me tell you guys, this gauge cluster is sick. The dash also sits as low as possible so you can see the road better over the really small hood. This is like no American car dash I've ever seen. Like the amount of texture and like elevation landscapey changes. I can't believe that this is a $55,000 Chevy. Chevy's second goal was to do something new, and they did that for sure. The vertical climate control cluster, AKA the climate control strip, is like a partition separating the driver and the passenger. The designer's obviously going for a fighter jet vibe, and this unconventional design, the layout really reminds me of a Mark IV Supra. A lot more than the new Supra does. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Personally, I love it. I feel like I get into a lot of cars and I don't know how to do the basic car stuff. How to turn on the AC, how to turn on the seat heaters or whatever. And in this car, everything is right here. Very clear. So I can focus on looking cool and my golf game. That being said, the C8 does also have a touchscreen, which is pretty commonplace in new cars today. But what makes this one a little bit cooler and a little bit different is the Performance Data Recorder, or PDR, which is cool. It records your lap times, braking points, a bunch of data when you're at the track. It's race car stuff. Race car stuff is cool. So let's talk about something that we don't see in the cockpit, a gear shifter. For the first time in the history of the Corvette, it will not be available with a manual transmission at launch. Let's just take a moment, mourn it, and move on. There is a lot of speculation that Chevy will add one in the future, but I'm not necessarily holding my breath because apparently 15% of C7 Vettes were sold with a stick. And Chevy isn't gonna spend the money to develop a manual if no one's gonna buy them. So it sucks, but it's our fault. Welcome to Business Lesson 101. Don't make a product if no one's gonna buy it. But that is not to say that the new 8-speed dual clutch transmission isn't great. It clicks off shifts in less than 100 milliseconds and provides continuous torque. So it is absolutely faster than a manual. Hard facts from Big Bro. The final goal is make the Corvette a true supercar killer. And that takes more than just speed, because who buys supercars? Rich guys. It's gotta have a nice interior. And this one is a very nice interior. GM has been hammered by people on the internet about the Vette interior for a long time. So the team went out of their way to give the C8 the feeling of true interior quality. The seats are real leather. The metal accents are real aluminum. Some trim levels will have real carbon fiber accents. They could have just made this interior as a plastic cozy coupe, because that would have really helped their bottom line. After all, GM is in the business of making money. But they're playing with the mid-engine kids now, all right? The piece that looks like a material is that material. This is a really big deal. This car is a very, very big deal. I just want to thank everyone who watches all of our videos, because 3 years ago, I would never think that, other than my mentor and best friend, Jay Leno, I would be the second person starting this car on YouTube. So, thank you. This thing is very, very cool, dude. It's very weird because I know I'm sitting in a Corvette, but I hear so much intake noise right behind my head, which is the coolest part about driving a mid-engine car. Not the coolest part. It's a very cool part, though. I can't figure out how GM has made a car this advanced, this fast, this nice for under $60,000. In a couple months, we're gonna see like 1,000 horsepower versions of these when people start bolting on superchargers and turbos and stuff like that. And those cars will still be less than $100,000. This is a game changer, y'all. I'm probably the furthest thing from a Chevy guy that you will find, but I respect Chevy so much, and I want to thank them for respecting us. They listened and they gave the people exactly what they wanted and more for less. Respect. The builders of this Cressida are the Moonlight Runners, also known as John and Astrid. They grew up in the American punk scene, and they felt a special connection with the Bosuzoku culture of young motorheads who challenge authority. When they discovered they didn't quite fit in with typical car enthusiasts around here, they were inspired to build something different.